Welcome back. Before we descend into today's Amberlynn spiral, which I promise is about as thrilling as watching beige paint dry on a humid day, there's a couple of things I just want to mention. First of all, what the hell is going on with Foodie Beauty? I checked out of that circus months ago for my own sanity, but curiosity struck and I peeked, and what do I find? Madness! Why did no one tell me this had fully gone off the rails? Next thing, Amber is very obviously in a copy and paste and call it growth era. She's dull, she's looping, and even my sarcasm is losing the will to live. So I'm still considering branching out. I'll still be dragging Amber, she will remain the cornerstone of my disaster museum. But what else could I do? Book reviews? TV recaps? Dog vlogs? My dog is more coherent than Amber and probably more house-trained. And he doesn't sob into Tupperwares of leftovers and call it trauma bonding. I could give him a little hat, we'll do brunch reviews, maybe a mukbang where he chews with his mouth closed. Take notes, Amber. I've already had a few suggestions that I'm considering, but I'd like to know what other people think I should do. Let me know what you'd actually watch or where my voice could be better suited, because there's every chance I'll just end up uploading a 20-part series on my favourite Scooby-Doo villains. Anyway, this video is titled My Health Has Gone Downhill, I Feel My Weight Gain and Thoughts on Tammy Slayton. Her health has gone downhill? Imagine my shock. Truly, I gasped, I clutched my pearls, I dropped dead briefly. This is the same woman who thinks a gallon of water and a unicorn oracle card can reverse the damage of a decade-long mukbang. And now, as if conjured by some malevolent spirit of irony, she has the gall to announce her decline as though it's breaking news.
Well, I am stunned. Just stunned. Stunned is the only way to describe how stunned I am.
Yes, the woman who treats her body like a rental car in a demolition derby has discovered consequences. So, pour yourself a beverage, brace your spirit, and let's walk through another 20 minutes of cherry-picked vulnerability, broken scales, and unsolicited health updates from a woman who won't walk across the room without a reward. It opens with her usual hello hello, a sweet, bubbly greeting for a video titled My Health Has Gone Downhill. The cognitive dissonance is already suffocating. This is partly why I find Amberlynn's entire existence so fascinating. She presents herself with the energy of a gym instructor while narrating the physical decline of someone who considers microwaving her Brussels sprouts a cardiovascular risk. If your health is spiraling and you're feeling your weight gain, maybe it's time to retire the chirpy cheerleader routine. Because what this actually is bleak. This intro is not befitting of her tone. She needs something like, welcome back to the slow, inevitable collapse of my body and my credibility, let's shop for bath mats. But no, it's the same manufactured pep, the same hollow performance. And so the curtain rises, and let the delusion commence. There's a grand theatrical march to the lab, because nothing says serious health crisis like oversized pink sunglasses from Torrid and 3 minutes of babbling about how to pronounce milk. Just to pause here, she's allegedly on the verge of being diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, a lifelong chronic illness. And what does she choose to highlight in the segment? Not the symptoms, not the fear, not even the medical implications. She devotes more screen time to the sunglasses. She has the communication instincts of a broken vending machine. You go in expecting substance, and you just get this erratic clatter of unrelated items tumbling into your lap. Stickers, mispronounced eggs, and a cameo call from her mother who, let's be honest, probably regrets making the call in the first place. And then, cut to her post-blood draw, a single vague line, got my blood drawn, so we're done with that. It's just devoid of content. You could blink and miss the only actual medical update in the video, because she films it like a teenager texting during detention. It just feels like we're watching the B-roll footage, the stuff that she cut from the vlog, and we'll actually see the real vlog another time. But we'll press on. I expect that she'll soon reward us with more insightful commentary on the pronunciation of eggs. She then engages in the age-old tradition of rambling about the weather like a pensioner loitering outside the supermarket. Why is it raining? I don't like storms with tornadoes, but I do like the lightning, but not that much, but maybe a little. And then, as if we haven't suffered enough, we're treated to an outfit. She calls it super cute. It's not. She claims to be a furry mess from cuddling her pets, but I would counter that it's the least alarming explanation for her tragic state of appearance. The dress is clinging on for dear life. Those stripes are doing the Lord's work to contour what physics has long since abandoned. And yet she insists she looks a little messy because of the fur? No, darling, it's not the fur. You look like a collapsed cake wrapped in crime scene tape. And then, because we've not yet reached the legal threshold for psychological torture, she unveils more Amazon nonsense. A mesh shirt that looks like a disease apparently, makeup brushes, eyebrow pencils, blush that smells like baked goods. Because this is what the health-focused vlog needed, unsolicited beauty advice from a woman who just told her she can't breathe properly. This is not lifestyle content. This is a broadcast from the eye of a storm. Moving on, I think I reached my limit. I didn't think I could be emotionally undone by a woman describing her salami preference and bragging about her veins, but here we are. There's something profoundly demoralizing about watching a human being spiral into chaos while treating salami and thyroid failure as interchangeable talking points. She begins with food, as always. She shows us her noodle dish described in breathless detail. And then with no transition or respect for narrative flow, we leap from chicken to dryer sheets. Moonlight breeze gain if you're curious. You weren't curious? Tough, because she's telling us about it anyway. Next is philosophical musings on the autoimmune disorder she may or may not have. No medical insight, no reflection, just, do I have it? I don't know. What do you do if you do have it? Anyway, I've matured. Yes, maturity. Clearly evident in the fact that she then spends several minutes showing us the bruise on her arm like it's a battle wound, describing her small but fat hands and feet like a rejected My Little Pony character, and devouring chocolates while shouting out the water gods. She caps off this cinematic masterpiece by congratulating herself for putting ice in a cup, assuring us that her ice does not contain tap water worms. The fact that she thinks this is what a health vlog looks like is either a misunderstanding so profound it should be studied by neurologists, or it's a smokescreen, an act of cheerful chaos meant to distract us from the truth. She's not okay, and we all know it. I would call it a car crash, but even a car crash eventually stops moving. This is just everlasting, wearing torrid sunglasses and chugging bottled water like it's penance. After that, she's invoking Tammy Slayton, the Tammy, the woman who clawed herself back from the brink, shedding hundreds of pounds and literally rising from her hospital bed. And Amberlynn, still marinating in her mediocrity, watches that unfold, that real transformation, and thinks, same babe. It's not the same, Amber. You're not even adjacent. Tammy didn't just lose her weight. She lost her delusion, her excuses. She shed layers of denial that Amberlynn wears like armor layered thick over the truth. Amberlynn has no intention of changing. She just wants the credit for wanting to. She's not interested in following the path. She just wants to be seen beside it. She wants the comments that say, you're just like Tammy, you'll be next, you're already on the journey. But no, she's not. Tammy fought for her life. Amber films herself choosing salami and chocolate caramels while cooing over an Amazon brush. She's not fighting. She's grazing and spiraling and just waiting for a miracle that looks like effort and feels like magic. She does not want a weight loss arc. She wants a weight loss plot twist. But life doesn't write the stories that way. The weight won't fall off while she eats chicken and stares longingly at her Lego builds. The health issues will not resolve themselves in a haze of dryer sheets and water monologues. She can buy all the scales in the world, but if she refuses to stand up and face the truth on them, then what's the point? And the best part is Tammy is just too busy living to notice Amber's desperate simpering from the sidelines. So no, Amber, you're not the next Tammy. You're still you. And that's the real tragedy. But we do get to see her new scale. That slab of plastic and metal hoisted in the air, worshipped not as a tool for truth, but as another prop in the tragic theatre of her performative self-awareness. She praises the scale's width. This thing is great for thick thighs, she declares, as if the scale's an accessory. A tote bag, a fashion choice, not a desperate last-minute intervention in a life that's slowly unravelling under its own weight. But, of course, she doesn't step on it. It's nighttime, she's eaten, it's not the right moment. It's never the right moment. She lives in an alternate timeline where moments are pristine and the stakes are ever negotiable. She won't weigh herself until her stomach is flatter, the lighting is better, and a wind machine gently ruffles her hair. And then comes the rant. Overweight men aren't allowed to judge her, not because they're wrong, but because they're too similar. She weaponizes the relatability to silence accountability. We're all dying, so stop looking at me. It's a rallying cry for the terminally unmotivated. But the truth is, a scale doesn't care who you are. It's not going to flatter you, it's not going to lie to you, it's not going to pretend that your noodles are protein-packed progress or that salami counts as self-care. It'll simply say, this is where you are. And if you can't face that, Amber, then you're not ready to move forward. And after that, we get the longest segment, which is her switching purses. It's the riveting climax of a life in freefall. She shows us the contents of a handbag like she's revealing state secrets. We're just being treated to a low-stakes archaeology dig through Target receipts, vet paperwork, and 6 pens. There's a rogue hoop earring, a charger, a lipstick. We're told that this was requested in her member livestream, and I weep for that member. There's nothing of substance, not in the purse, not in the segment, not in the woman. I don't even have the energy to get into it, so I'm just going to move on. Going on from that, there's another storm in Oklahoma. It's almost as if nature is trying to sweep her off the map. Another excuse to do nothing while claiming her anxieties tethering her to the couch like a Victorian widow waiting out a typhoon. She tells us she googled why it floods in Oklahoma. A genuine scientific curiosity, I'm sure, only to immediately forget the answer. Because of course she did. She retains information the way a sieve holds soup. She ends with her sacred comments of the day, the only part of her videos where unfiltered reality manages to slip through the cracks of a delusion. First, someone informs her that pigtails, when worn past puberty, tend to radiate a certain arrested development chic. Amber naturally spirals. She's only 34, she says, as if that's not a lifetime's worth of denial compressed into one body with 2 braids. She then cites Google Images and TikTok as her academic sources to confirm that other adults do indeed wear pigtails too. I could Google images of people wearing Crocs with toe socks. It doesn't mean it's fashion forward. And yet, she does stumble into some rare accidental wisdom. Wear what you love, even if others think it's stupid. To which I say, yes, that is what you should do. If it makes you happy, then do what you want. For example, I may or may not constantly wear a pair of very, very pink short shorts that are so tight that one wrong move could have someone's eye out. But still, it makes me happy, so be yourself. Just do it without demanding applause for the effort. Next up is someone who nearly wet themselves laughing at the idea that Amber thought she weighed 350 pounds. Amber, in return, clarifies that she never believed it. Her scale was simply broken. Which begs the question, if she didn't think the scale was broken and it had read 350 pounds, would she have believed it? Spoiler, yes. And last is a compliment about her mesh heart top. She says it's only $19 on Amazon. Frankly, $19 is way too much when it looks like a Valentine's Day card crossed with a rash. And so, the latest opus of amber-filtered inertia comes to its predictably unsatisfying end. She tells us that people are messaging her on Instagram praising the length of her vlogs, as if duration is synonymous with substance. A root canal is lengthy too, doesn't mean people enjoy it. She will return, of course. There will be more storms, more broken scales, more gasping insights about how being over 500 pounds makes things harder. But for now, be free. Close your laptop, cleanse your energy, reclaim your brain cells.